What's up, fans? You got the Razman here for the RazMansReality. I want to start off today by talking about more thoughts that I have on the future of Narnia. There was a recent article posted on NarniaWeb.com, which is absolutely your number one source for anything regarding what's going on with Narnia, that sheds some light on what exactly happened between Walden Media and Walt Disney Pictures. Apparently, Walt Disney Pictures did not like having a partner like Walden Media who had a definite opinion on what they wanted to happen with the franchise and what the franchise should do. Mainly release dates. Walden was very upset that Prince Caspian was released in competition with films like The Incredible Hulk and Iron Man last year. Walden felt that Prince Caspian should have been released in the holidays to be sort of the standalone blockbuster at the time. And I actually tend to agree with Walden in that respect. Another aspect that came out in that article, though, that I don't agree with was that Walden felt that perhaps it was a mistake to do Prince Caspian as the second film, because Prince Caspian is the least popular of any of the 7 Narnia books. And they felt that its numbers perhaps reflected that. Well, if you look at the Blu-ray/DVD sales, they've been pretty decent, like we talked about before. For it to grab the number 9 spot in 2008 and only have been out in 2008 for 4 weeks, that's not too bad. Like I said before, I think the biggest hindrance for Prince Caspian was 2 things. One, it changed the plot line just a little bit, and it didn't really follow the book as closely as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe did. So for purists, I think a lot of people would have been upset about that. But the main thing that I feel was the big hindrance for Prince Caspian, like I said before, was that a lot of people weren't even aware that Prince Caspian exists. A lot of people out there think that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a standalone book and doesn't even have any partners. The experience that I can draw off that personally is my mom, who's a big fan of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I've been bugging her for the last few years. Finally happened this Christmas to get a hold of all the Narnia books, but she said, wow, there's more than one book, and I said, yeah, there's 7. So that was the first time that I got to thinking maybe people aren't even aware that there's more than one Narnia out there. And there needs to be a lot of push to advertise and let people know that there's more than one Narnia story. So that, I think, is the biggest reason why Prince Caspian's numbers weren't all that great. Now, Prince Rillian, the YouTube user who is also a staff member on Narnia Web, he made reference to what happened several years ago between a little-known studio and a little-known director at the time. And of course, I'm talking about New Line Cinema and Peter Jackson, and what happened with the success of Lord of the Rings. And what that got me thinking about is there another small studio out there that could take a chance on Narnia and possibly reap the success from it? And I actually think there is, and I think that studio is Fox Searchlight Pictures. Of course, some of you know that name, especially if you're a fan of mine. You'll know that name from a couple of shows ago with the recent success of The Wrestler. But Fox Searchlight Pictures is still very, very small, and I think it would be perfect to go ahead and grab Narnia right now while it's still got some momentum from from Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe and fairly decent success on Blu-ray and DVD from Prince Caspian. There's already production being done on Dawn Treader. Grab it, take that chance, and see where it goes. So will that happen? We'll have to wait and see. Yesterday I mentioned Ron Minks as the Colts' new head coach. Of course, I meant actually Jim Caldwell, just mixed up coordinators there. Also, Jim Mora being hired as the Seahawks head coach, and Josh McDaniels, the former Patriot offensive coordinator, being hired as the new head coach of the Denver Broncos. Scott Pioli out in New England. He's now in Kansas City. So there's your NFL news. I will get into ECW tomorrow due to time constraints, so stay tuned for that. This is reality according to the RazMan. And RazMan style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way